Hi, and welcome back to Knit Your Stress Away, where we talk all things yarn, calm, and crafting your way back to yourself one row at a time. If you've been wanting to knit, but you can't decide what to make or where to start because you're sort of like, whoa, there's so much out there and I want to make everything, but I don't even know what I can and can't make, today's episode is for you. I'm going to talk about 5 beginner-friendly summer knitting projects that are peaceful, practical, and actually doable, even if you're just getting back into knitting after a long break or you're completely new to knitting. These make really cute and adorable portable projects that you can take anywhere and knit anywhere, made for vacation, being on your patio and hanging out, or just 15 minutes of peace at the end of your day. So let's dive in. Welcome to Knit Your Stress Away, the podcast for overwhelmed moms who are done with doom scrolling and ready for something slower. Hi, I am Nadine. I am a mom, a knitting coach for beginners, and proud screen time dropout who believes that peace starts with just one stitch. If you've ever craved a quiet moment to yourself, this show is your cozy permission slip. Let's trade notifications for needles and turn stress into self-care together. All right, real talk. One of the biggest mistakes that I see beginners or people who are getting back into knitting make is starting with a pattern that is way too complicated. And that is how projects end up half finished in the basket or maybe not even started at all. Because you look at the pattern, you're like, oh crap, not doing that. And I find that such a shame. And I don't want that for you. And trust me, once again, ask me how I know. Been there, done that, and it's not fun. What you want is a quick win, and you want this feeling of, oh my gosh, I made that. And you definitely don't want it to be so intimidating that you are looking at the pattern, you're just like throwing it in the corner and are finished before you even started with it, right? So everything I'm sharing today is simple, very satisfying, and designed to give you that moment of, I made this and look what I made, and I'm really proud to actually wear it. Even if it has the occasional little mistake in it, don't even sweat it, okay? And you don't need to master every stitch before you cast on, right? But let's start with a project that is suited for your level, wherever you are, wherever you're starting, wherever you're jumping back in. And make sure that you are having fun doing it. Because if something is overwhelming and too complicated, we are not having fun with it at all. And if it's too easy, then guess what? You can move on to the next challenge with your next project. So these are all relatively small so that they're relatively easy to complete and just plain adorable. And I just can't wait to share them with you. So let's go through the 5 projects that I have handpicked for you to make this summer. I'm just so excited. I have not made a single one of these, but I have multiple ones on my list, and I'm going to let you know which ones. So number 1, we're starting with the Jazz Bandana from Hobby. This is such a cute little like a fun project. It has stripes. It's made all in garter stitch, which makes it very simple because all you need is the knit stitch, which is the most basic stitch. And I'll say this again here in this part. You only need that one stitch. You only need the one stitch in order to make all sorts of amazing things. So no reason to think, oh, but I haven't learned everything yet. Doesn't matter. You can start. You can do this one, okay? It's like a little tiny neck scarf that you can wear multiple ways. You can even put it like bandana on your head. My daughter loves wearing it that way. And I am actually about to make this one really soon. Hobby is providing me with 2 beautiful colors to knit this jazz bandana. And then you're going to have to check back into the podcast and to Instagram at @theknittingmamas_ to see my progress and see what it looks like. I can't wait. This is like the perfect summer make. And you can choose from so many colors. It is just such a fun project. So all the links to the projects that I'm recommending today are going to be in the show notes for you. And I'm actually going to dedicate an entire episode to this make once I start it. And can't wait for you to hear all that. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast too, so you don't miss any of the future episodes. Next up is the Anya Summer Top. This is also from the Hobby website, and the actual pattern, I think also for the jazz bandana, as far as I know, they're free. So you can just go ahead and download the pattern themselves, but then you will have to pick up the yarn. Of course, if you already have yarn at home and you want to substitute, just make sure that you are gauge swatching to make sure it's the right yarn, the right size needles to meet the gauge and make sure that the garment actually fits in the end. But the Anya Summer Top is a super beginner-friendly tank top. So if you want to knit something that you can actually put on to wear, not just a scarf or, something like a tote or anything, this is actually something you're going to wear. And I think this will be a really great confidence booster for you in your knitting journey. So go ahead and check that out at the link in the show notes, called the Anya Summer Top from Hobby. Next up, this one I am so very excited about. This one isn't a free download, but you can actually get it as a kit from Lion brand, or you can buy the standalone pattern as well. And it's called the Confidence Crop, made by Knititude. It is such a fun and empowering knit. I am super excited because I'm going to making this one this summer in the Notting Hill colorway from Sorella's Summer in London collection, which I have been dying to see in real life. Like, she released this collection back in May. I think it was on Memorial Day weekend, and it took me, no kidding, I think you may have seen it in my Instagram stories, but it took me days, like 3, 4, 5 days to make decisions on what color I want, what yarn base I want, what am I going to use it for, because these very special hand-dyed yarns, you want to make sure that you know what to use them for. At least I do, because they're super special, very high quality, and I don't want to just buy a bunch and then be like, okay, what now? I actually want to have a plan what I'm going to use them for, and based on that, buy the correct base and amount, right? And so I'm definitely going to be sharing my progress on Instagram if you want to follow along of the confidence crop that I'm going to make really soon. I'm still waiting for the yarn, of course, because it's hand-dyed to order, and it's about 6 to 7 weeks of turnaround time. So it'll be around, I want to say, the beginning of July when I'm finally going to hold it in my hands and I get to start this. So be sure to follow along. My Instagram is @theknittingmamas_. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to see what you're making or what you're using, what color, what yarn to use for the confidence crop. I think the original is made in just a cotton fiber, if I'm not mistaken. Again, you can check it out at the link in the show notes. It's just such a cute top, and I think you can really play around with colors in here. I actually saw somebody on Instagram who made it with stripes, which isn't the original pattern, but of course you can obviously really have some fun ideas and creativity. Let the creativity out with this one, and I thought the striped one was such a great idea. Number 4, I so want to make this because it's so easy, and this makes amazing gifts. If you want to gift some knitted items to somebody, these are quick and easy. It's called the Deco Mug Rug, and this is actually a free download too on Ravelry. I'm going to link it up below. But these are such cute little, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. They're coasters. They're little coasters for your coffee cup or whatever else, right? But there are 4 different ones. They have little different pattern and stitch patterns on them. You can make them in a solid color, or you can use maybe a really pretty dyed yarn if you have one of those at home. That's actually what I'm going to do. I have this beautiful yarn still here from Sorella from the Autumn in New York collection that I bought, and I thought I had an idea for the pattern, but I'm still not sure. And I think I'm going to use it for this because it's just such a cute little pattern, and it adds whatever kind of style you want, depending on the color that you're going to use, to your home and to your table. So again, I think these are also fantastic gifts for any occasion, maybe for Christmas, right? For somebody who loves coffee, and you just make them these little mug rugs for their different coffee cups and styles. I think it's just so fun. So go check those out. Super duper beginner friendly, very easy to make. And also you can practice all your different stitches, and you can see how when you use the two different knit stitches, the purl and the knit stitch, in different, combinations, you can create such amazing patterns. It's so cool. Okay, and then the fifth one I also put on my list to make because I've been looking for something like this for years. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. It's called the Sunset Breeze Cape, and it's also from Lion Brand. So it's a collaboration with a designer and then Lion Brand yarn. You can buy it as a full kit, and it just got released maybe a week or two ago. So it's brand new, and it is a striped cape that you just pull over your head and then it lays over your shoulders. So it's this perfect summer, layered piece that you can add to either a shirt or a tank or even a dress. Just put it over the shoulders and then, for like the cooler evenings or whatever. And it's just such a cute little accessory. I think you're going to love this one. This may be a little bit more for the advanced beginner, because you have a little bit of lace in there, but it did not look too intimidating. So I think we can all make that one happen. And again, check the show notes. The original colors on that one is like a red and then two different yellow tones and a white to make kind of like a fade that's supposed to mimic the sunset, which I really love the idea, but you can just pick from any of the colors in there and just make it your own and make it to where it matches what you have already in your closet. I think it's so amazing to be creative with the things that you're picking to make, with the projects, and then just kind of make it your own. I think that's like the most beautiful part about this whole thing. But I want you to remember that knitting doesn't have to be all or nothing. You do not need hours or perfect conditions to start this. You just need a project that actually makes you want to show up, right? And that is to your level, to where you're not just feeling constantly like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to touch it. And I have been there. I have had patterns and projects where I started them and then I was like, oh God, I just don't know if I'm ready for this one yet. And then it just kind of like ended in the corner, and I just don't want that for you. So if you're brand new, or if it's been years since you last picked up needles, I know how it feels. I picked up needles after 20 plus years and I had no idea what to do, where to buy stuff. And, everything was like literally a different language, not just from my language to knitting, but from my language to English and then to knitting. So yes, I totally get that. And I have two resources to support you if that's you. So number one, the free 3 things you need to start knitting cheat sheet, like I just mentioned earlier. It has tools, yarn, recommendations, patterns, and a glossary to decode the knitting lingo. And then there is also my 90-minute headband workshop. It's a cozy project, guided step by step. So it's a whole video that you can follow. It's about 90 minutes long. You will be able to complete the entire headband in that time if you choose to. And the pattern comes with it. It's a beautiful pattern for a headband from Two of Wands, who is one of my favorite designers. And we teamed up for this special workshop. And it has everything you need for that first knit, for that first project. You can grab all of this at theknittingmamas.com. And yes, I hope they are super supportive to help you in this knitting journey. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today right here on the Knit Your Stress Away podcast. I hope that one of these summer projects is sparking your interest. The ones that I'm making this year, of course, I'm going to share on my Instagram. So please be sure to follow along there. Again, hit subscribe on the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And I would love to hear which one you are thinking about casting on first. So you can either send me a DM on Instagram at @theknittingmamas_, or just talk about it in your stories and then tag me there so I can cheer you on and I can shout you out on my Instagram as well. Don't forget, your knitting does not have to be perfect. It just has to feel good. It has to feel good. It's a practice. It's not a race. It's not a perfectionist competition. It is a feel-good hobby, and I want to make sure that we keep it that way. All right. As I always say, one row is enough. I hope I talk to you soon, and happy summer stitching. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on today's episode. I hope you're walking away with a bit more inspiration and a few ideas to make your self-care a priority. If today's chat gave you a little boost, I'd love it if you could leave a 5-star review on iTunes. This helps other moms discover the podcast and start finding more calm and creativity in their day as well. And don't forget to join us over in the Knitting Mamas community on Facebook by going to theknittingmamas.com/group. Thanks again, and remember, you deserve time for yourself to recharge and feel your best.